Hey guys, this is Patty B within the Holler. I got another firearm I'd like to share with y'all. This is the Gen 5 Glock 20 MOS. Yeah, the Glock 20 is a polymer frame striker fired pistol chambered in 10mm auto, and it feeds from 15-round magazines. I'd like to give a shout out to my buddy Archer, who let me borrow this pistol for this review. Yeah, the Glock 20 has been around for decades now, and the Gen 5 MOS version, is kind of the latest and greatest. Specs on this: got a 4.6-inch barrel, and it weighs 29.5 ounces on my scale with an empty magazine and this optic. Features, we'll start down here on this polymer lower. The Gen 5s have decent texture. It's not my favorite. It's not the worst. It's all right. You do have replaceable back straps, for different size hands. I do like the later versions, the Gen 4, Gen 5 of the large frame Glock 20, Glock 21 pistols. They're so much better than the Gen 3 and earlier ones that literally felt like grabbing a 2x4. This doesn't feel as big and feels way better in your hands than the old school Glock 20s. Controls on this, like all Gen 5s, slide stop, slide release is on both sides, and your magazine release is reversible. Trigger on this, like all Glocks, just mushy. Not great, not the worst, but certainly not great. I think most other companies now all have better triggers than Glocks. Not that these aren't shootable. I think there's just, far better triggers out there. Of course, you do have your rail out here. You got some forward serrations. You got rear serrations. Now, this version comes with the standard Glock factory plastic sights, which, some people are okay with, some people hate, but nobody really loves them. One of the neat things about this is the MOS, which is their OptiCut version. Holosun makes this SCS MOS, which mounts directly to the slide, no plate required whatsoever. This is pretty awesome because even with these factory sights, it co-witnesses with the dot just because it sits so low. Definitely, to me, if you have an MOS Glock of any kind, this is such a cool optic for it. A field strip on this, it's like every other Glock. I'm not going to do it here on camera. Everybody should know how to take one of these down. So I reviewed the Sig Sauer P320 X10 and the Smith & Wesson M&P 10. So, taking this out and shooting today, I'll get a good feel of how it stacks up between those two. I like both those pistols pretty well, so we'll see how this one fares. So we're going to take her outside. We're going to put a couple hundred rounds through it today and just get an initial feel for it and see what we think about this thing. All right, let's go do some shooting. All right, let's take our first shots with the Glock 20. We've got some Winchester white box, some Aguila, and some Blazer brass. But let's see how this thing does. All right, first impression, that Glock trigger, mediocre at best. The grip feels pretty good. It feels good in your hand. Recoil-wise, you're not shooting a 9, but definitely not bad to shoot. All right, moved on back 15 yards or so. See what we can do with this thing. All right, once you get used to that stock Glock trigger, which has been a while since I shot a stock Glock one, get your trigger pulled down good. This thing's shooting pretty good. I love how this Holliston sight sits so low where you can co-witness. Yeah, she's shooting good. All right, Archer's going to try his Glock 20 at that 25-yard plate, see what he can do. Hey, not too shabby. What do you think about that thing?
I like it. Definitely recoils a little bit more than what we're used to with 9s. And of course, it's a Glock trigger. But
yeah.
Other than that, it runs good.
Yeah, get used to that trigger. You can shoot it pretty decent.
Yeah.
Let's try that 40-yard plate. Hey, 4 out of 5, I'll take that. All right, Archer's going to try him a bill drill with his Glock 20, see how he does. 7 yards at the low ready. Shooter ready?
Ready.
Stand by. All right, your time, 181. Well, you got 4. Line cutter. 2 Charlies. Not bad for your first one ever with it.
Charlie and a Delta.
Oh, Delta. Ouch. All right, back inside from shooting the Glock 20 MOS, and yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. You know, shooting 10 mil, it's just a little bit more fun than shooting 9 mil. You know, we were just shooting the range ammo, so it's not like it recoiled a ton, but you definitely know you're not shooting a 9 and just a blast to shoot. Both me and Archer had a little, we just had to try a little harder with the stock Glock trigger. You know, when you're shooting, you know, Walthers and Canics and stuff like that have better triggers. You know, the Glock is just a little bit tougher, and you got to be a little better with your fundamentals. But, you know, once we tried a little harder, you know, shooting this thing, you know, you can shoot it pretty darn accurate. Like I said, the grip, so much smaller than the old school Glock 20s. You know, that grip feels so much better. And this thing's definitely pretty cool. Now, I've reviewed both the SIG P320 X10 and the Smith & Wesson M&P 10 Pro, and those are both pretty awesome pistols. And I think, in my opinion, that the Glock is just a little less refined. Both of those pistols, to me, come with better texture and better grips, better trigger, and better sights. What does the Glock bring? Well, you know, the ultimate in reliability. You know, it may not be quite as refined, but, you know, it runs on its track record, which is, you know, nothing but excellent. But if I was choosing between those three, I'm definitely going to lean towards the SIG or maybe the Smith & Wesson. This thing's definitely cool and was a whole lot of fun to shoot, but I don't know. I think Glock needs to up their game with triggers and sights, but hey, that's just my opinion. So, well, there you go, guys. Glock 20 MOS. Y'all have a nice day.